This viewing, I'm here today with Joan Goulding from the Goulding Institute.
Thank you.
How are you? Obviously I've been invited along to this weekend to learn more about obviously the Goulding process, which has been absolutely amazing.
Fantastic.
What I'd like you to do is just, could you start off by telling obviously the viewers at home what obviously the Goulding process is?
Yes, certainly, and thanks for the opportunity, it's great. Basically, when somebody asks me what the Goulding process is, I would say it's about teaching the parents to work with their children while they sleep. So when they awaken in the morning, they have a more positive mindset. And so many parents say to me, oh, but my child doesn't have any problems. And I'll say, well, that'll be the first. And then I'll, with a smile on my face, of course. And then I'll say, did you as a child have any problems? And most people say, well, yeah, of course I did. And did you speak to your parents? Did you tell them their parents? Oh, of course not. I wouldn't tell my parents that. So I rest my case. All children have issues. All children have problems. It's how they deal with them that's the issue. So the Sleeptalk process, or the Goulding process, works with all children, whether they have issues or whether they don't, whether they have an intellectual impairment or a physiological impairment. The process can help from sibling rivalry, separation anxiety, bedwetting, nail biting, twirling the hair, not wanting to go to bed, maybe even issues around school, just wanting to play sports, not interested, but has the capacity, but doesn't want to actually study. There's a whole range of different issues that the Sleeptalk process can assist. And the fantastic part of all of this is that it only takes a couple of minutes each night for the parents. So it helps the parents also come to terms with a lot of the behaviours of the child, and it gives them an opportunity to take back a little bit of control.
Excellent, thank you. I mean, obviously it's called Sleeptalk for Children, but it's not just based at young children at 6 months or 2 years. It does go up the range, doesn't it?
Yes,
what sort of age group are we looking at?
Well, basically from about 18 months onwards through to between 12 and 16, pushing it at 16. The more intelligent the child, the lower the age, the more distressed the child, the older the age. But having said that, I've been talking to the Hypnobirthing Institute that now accredits the Sleeptalk process. And some of the doulas and the hypnobirthing practitioners are now saying, well, we think that it will assist a child before it's born. And so many children are born into this world, perhaps not under the most ideal circumstances from an emotional perspective. And a lot of that distress that the little ones are born with can be balanced just with the statements from the mother speaking to the little one before they're born. So there's a lot of research happening at the moment with regard to that.
Okay, excellent, it's great. And you've obviously come to this process over 30, 40, 50 years worth of experience.
Yes.
And obviously
not so much at the 50.
No, fair enough. We'll stick it down to 30, 40.
Yeah, since 1974.
That's led you to deal with a lot of families over time through all over the world.
Yes.
Obviously you're based in Australia and you do these tours, spreading the good process around the world.
Yeah.
People have to know that obviously that this is a process and it takes time, it's not instantaneous.
It's not instantaneous, so it can't happen now. But some children do change within 2 to 3 months with the basic foundation. There's 3 levels to the Sleeptalk process, and as you say, we now have Sleeptalk trainers in quite a wide range. There is now 10 around the world and there's 2 coming up. So we have quite a lot of consultants that are accredited and registered on the international register around the world. So parents can just link on all the W's, sleeptalkchildren.com, and find a consultant near where you live, possibly. And many consultants actually work via Skype, as I do. So it doesn't really matter if you can't find someone within your area. You can perhaps contact someone that you feel comfortable with from the international register and maybe talk via Skype. And it doesn't really take very long.
Excellent. And with exception to your own personal achievements, what would you say are some of the achievements around the world that people have found using Sleeptalk?
Well, I think one of the main ones is separation anxiety and sibling rivalry. That's always an issue with families that have siblings. So those issues respond superbly. But what we're also finding is that children who have been given the label maybe ADD, ADHD, or the Asperger's syndrome or autism, they seem to respond superbly to Sleeptalk.
That's brilliant. And I'm guessing you're finding new achievements all the time, because obviously this process that you're spreading around the world is growing all the time, and you told us not long ago about the accreditation from different formats, up and down the world.
Yes.
Which ones are they that you just like to?
Oh, thank you for asking. That's fantastic. Well, we've got the Hypnobirthing Institute that's based in America. We've got the Dave Ellman Institute. There's the IACT, the International Association of Counselling Therapists. There's the International Medical and Dental Association. They're just some of the organisations that accept and accredit the full training of Sleeptalk consultants. But there are many more around the world, which is fantastic. So there's a trainer in Romania, Eugene Popper, who's absolutely superb. Beryl Comer, who is in Dubai. Jane Clark, who's here in Scotland. We've got Nicole Wackendang, I think it is. I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure of the pronunciation of her surname. She's based in Zurich. So we have trainers in New Zealand, in Singapore. There's me, of course, and there's a trainer in Queensland. So we're slowly getting out there.
Yeah, and everywhere covered, which is and it is great. It's a process that the majority of people tend to think that when they go for some sort of therapies, that they always just think it's all about the adults, and it's
and it's not.
It's not, is it?
It's about the children, and I think that's one of the strengths of the Sleeptalk, is that we also help the parents, but it's about the children, and it is always about the children. And the issue is that it assists the parents to redefine, if you like, or redevelop their relationship with the child. And Sleeptalk is cause-focused. We don't deal with the effects like the nail biting or the bedwetting or the sibling rivalry. That's the end result. We deal with the underlying issues that perhaps have been the cause of the issue. We don't need to know what the issue is, though. So the foundation process normally sorts most of these situations out.
Yeah. And you touched on it several times throughout this interview, that it's not myself or anybody else as the therapist or or whichever you want to call them, that are going through the process. It's the parent themselves throughout the course of the time, and that they're having that bonding with that child throughout. Absolutely,
yes, it is. And it's about developing a new routine at night time, like brushing your teeth. It's part of the routine. So it becomes part and parcel of that structure at night. And even though it only does take 2 minutes a night, you need to be consistent. I'm very comfortable with the fact that if the parent is prepared to be consistent with the process, then that process will create change.
It's inevitable about the amount of results you've had over the years, that if that parent is consistent and to go through the amount of contact hours with the therapist and throughout the time, and you say it's over several months, and obviously the therapist is there for them to contact at any time they wish during that process, that the results are there for all to see.
Yes, absolutely. There's lots and lots and lots of case histories on the website, and so please feel free to visit them. And if you have any queries or concerns, speak to this young man here.
Well, thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, then clearly come to me. If that, obviously you can contact yourself.
Anytime.
Anytime for all them questions. You've got them there at the website at sleeptalk.com.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
All the W's, sleeptalkchildren.com.
Okay, I'll rephrase that. There we go. All right, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate
Very welcome.
it.
Thank
It was
you
great
for
to learn this
asking
new
me.
process throughout this weekend.
It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you very much. This can only achieve great things for children.
I hope so.
and
One
everybody.
child at a time.
Thank you.
Pleasure.